وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تبطلوا صدقاتكم بالمن والأذى كالذي ينفق ماله رئاء الناس ولا يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فمثله كمثل صفوان عليه تراب فأصابه وابل فتركه صلدا لا يقدرون على شيء مما كسبوا والله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين ومثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم ابتغاء مرضات الله وتثبيتا من أنفسهم كمثل جنة بربوة أصابها وابل فآتت أكلها ضعفين فإن لم يصبها وابل فطل والله بما تعملون بصير أيود أحدكم أن تكون له جنة من نخيل وأعناب تجري من تحتها الأنهار له فيها من كل الثمرات وأصابه الكبر وله ذرية ضعفاء فأصابها إعصار فيه نار فاحترقت كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Al-Baqarah, commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about spending, what to spend and what not to spend, where to spend and where not to spend, and how to spend and how not to spend. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تبطلوا صدقاتكم بالمن والأذى. O you who believe, do not nullify your acts of charity by boasting about it, by boasting about a favor or by causing them hurt. كالذي ينفق ماله رئاء الناس, like the one who spends his wealth to show off before people. وَلَا يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and does not believe in Allah and in the last day. So far Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one thing that we learn from this ayah is that sadaqat become batil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, do not make them batil, do not nullify them by showing off or by hurting people. So if the intention, the sole intention is to show off by spending, or to spend and then hurt people through your actions, then sadaqat become batil or nullified. كَالَّذِي يُنْفِقُ مَالَهُ رِئَاءَ النَّاسِ وَلَا يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, like a person, like the one who spends his wealth to show off before people. وَلَا يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and he does not believe, or they do not believe in Allah and in the last day. One thing that Hazrat Mufassirin have written is that a requisite of Iman is that when you spend it solely for Allah. So if you have corruption in your intention and that you intend to show off or hurt people, then your Iman is defected. You have defect in your Iman. فَمَثَلُهُ كَمَثَلِ صَفْوَانٍ عَلَيْهِ تُرَابٌ فَأَصَابَهُ وَابِلٌ فَتَرَكَهُ صَلْدًا لَا يَقْدِرُونَ عَلَى شَيْءٍ مِّمَّا كَسَبُوا وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْكَافِرِينَ. The example of such a person that spends to show off to people, his example is like a rock. It is a rock, and then on that rock, on the surface of that rock, some dust has accumulated. So it looks like a piece of, does not look like a rock, but it looks like a piece of earth. But then a heavy rain came over it and left it barren. So the heavy rain came and washed it over. So those people were spending on the surface, and it may seem like they're spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but when they have the intention of hurting people or showing off to people, or to seek respect from people by their spending, then their example and their act of spending, the example of their act of spending is that there was some dust and on the surface something seemed different, but as soon as a tiny amount of rain came, or actually a heavy rain came over it, and it left it barren. So when the heavy rain came, all the dust was washed away and the stone became apparent. لا يقدرون على شيء مما كسبوا. They have no ability to gain anything out of what they have done. والله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. And Allah does not give guidance to the people who disbelieve. And we've read about this and explained it in detail, that what are the kind of people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not give guidance to, who choose to turn their faces away from the word of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَمَثَلُ الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ. Now compared to those people, the example of those people, يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ, who spend their wealth to seek the pleasure of Allah, مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ, وَتَثْبِيتًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ, and to make firm their faith from the depths of their souls. كَمَثَلِ جَنَّةٍ بِرَبْوَةٍ أَصَابَهَا وَابِلٌ. The example is that there is a garden, there is an actual garden on a foothill on which came a heavy rain. فَآتَتْ أُكُلَهَا ضِعْفَيْنِ فَإِن لَّمْ يُصِبْهَا وَابِلٌ فَطَلٌّ. So there came a heavy rain on it, and it yielded its produce even more, twofold. So when the rain comes on an actual piece of ground, it produces even more vegetation, twofold, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. And even if a heavy rain does not come to it, even a light drizzle is enough, and Allah is watchful of what you do. So that Wallahu bima ta'maluna basir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watchful of what you do. So the example of the people who have sincerity in their heart is like a true garden, true piece of earth. When a heavy rain comes on it, the dust is not washed away, but it produces even more vegetation. And even if there is not a heavy rain, there is just a light drizzle, even then, even that drizzle is enough for vegetation to come forth out of that piece of earth. So Hazrat Mufassirin have explained that when a sincere person with sincerity spends only a little amount of wealth, even that brings reward for him. And he spends more, he gets more reward. أَيَوَدُّ أَحَدُكُمْ. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving a third example. أَيَوَدُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَن تَكُونَ لَهُ جَنَّةٌ مِّن نَخِيلٍ وَأَعْنَابٍ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ لَهُ فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ. Now the example of a third person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that would any of you wish to be like that person? What is the example of this person? He has a garden of dates and grapes and has rivers flowing beneath it. And there's all kinds of fruits. Lahu fiha min kulli thamarat. He has all kinds of fruit for him in that garden. Wa asabahu al-kibar. And old age has befallen him. Wa asabahu al-kibar. Old age befalls him. Wa lahu dhurriyatun du'afa. And his children are weak. So he's reached his old age. His children are weak, which means that they are not able to earn a livelihood neither for themselves nor for him. And he has this garden which has all sorts of fruit and good vegetation and has river flowing beneath it. But when he has reached this old age and when he needs it the most, what happens? فَأَصَابَهَا إِعْصَارٌ فِيهِ نَارٌ فَاحْتَرَقَتْ. Then a whirlwind comes up upon it with fire in it, and it is all burned down. فَاحْتَرَقَتْ. It is all burned down. So the example of a person who is spending, and they are spending and they've worked hard, just like that old man, to create a garden for themselves, it will become a source of income for them and a sustenance for them on their old age. Similar to the example of the person who is spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all his life, and then at the point where he needs it the most on the day of judgment, for that spending to bring forth reward for him on the day of judgment, where he has no one to help him, neither his dhurriyat or his children, nor he is able to do himself anything. He's old. The analogy is that he's old, or on the day of judgment nobody will be able to do anything for them except for what they've done in this world. At that time, imagine the state of a person who's old, who has nothing to earn, who's not able to earn, his children are not able to earn for him, and the only source of income is burnt down. It does not give any reward, and he's not able to produce it again because he's old. So similar would be the example of people who have worked hard in their lives, spent in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and on the day of judgment, at that actual point where they need it the most, it will be all gone to waste before them, because they did not spend it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ لَكُمُ الْآيَاتِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Allahu Akbar. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes His signs clear to you so that you people may ponder. So from these ayat, from the preceding ayat, there's 4 or 5 things, there should be actually 6 things that should be remembered about all sadaqat. Number 1, the mal that is being spent is supposed to be halal, it's supposed to be earned in a proper manner. Number two, when you're spending it, it is supposed to be spent in a sunnah way. What is the sunnah way? The sunnah way is to find out where it is appropriate to spend your money. Number one, that where you are spending that money, it should be permissible in Sharia. Number two, it should be according to sunnah, so we should not be depriving the rights of the people that need it the most. For example, our children may need that money, our family may need that money, our parents may need that money, and we are constructing a masjid, for example, where the community does not need that masjid at that time. So, to spend it well in a sunnah manner where it is needed the most. Also, it should not be spent by the intention of showing off or by giving it to people and then hurting them. And also it should be spent with sincerity and only to gain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and gain a reward on the day of Akhirah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our sadaqat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq and spirit to passion to spend more in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and spend in the right way. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil mursaleen. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين واغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين.